On the set of Bridgerton 4, etiquette was everything. The actors were not just performing for the cameras, they were living in a world where manners and appearances mattered more than comfort. From the moment they stepped on set, they were expected to behave exactly like their characters, not just during filming, but often in between takes as well. For instance, male actors had to bow correctly to female actors and other men of higher social rank, even if they were only joking around or walking past each other. A careless gesture could look sloppy on camera, so they practiced bowing and curtsying repeatedly. Female actors faced the challenge of maintaining perfect posture at all times. Sitting, standing, walking, or even laughing had to reflect the elegance of the upper-class society the show portrayed. No slouching, no casual movements, and definitely no modern slang. Every movement was observed, and even a small mistake could disrupt the authenticity of the scene. The rules weren't just about posture or gestures, they extended to speech as well. Actors were often reminded to speak politely and carefully, avoiding casual or modern expressions that didn't fit the Regency period. On the set, even a joking comment had to be phrased correctly to sound historically accurate. Behind the scenes, the cast shared that it was surprisingly hard to adjust, especially for actors who were used to relaxed modern sets. They had to constantly remind themselves to address each other formally, use correct titles, and maintain a refined tone of voice. This constant awareness created a sense of tension, but also helped everyone stay in character. So the final scenes looked flawless. Another interesting aspect of etiquette on set was the way actors interacted with props and surroundings. Nothing was touched casually. If a character needed to pick up a teacup, the actor had to follow exact instructions on how to hold it, lift it, and place it back. This attention to detail extended to walking across the set. The floor was polished, carpets had specific placements, and the actors had to avoid disturbing any objects that might break the illusion of the Regency era. Even minor errors, like turning the wrong way or adjusting a necklace incorrectly, could cause multiple takes, costing time and effort. Because of this, actors spent hours rehearsing movements that might seem ordinary but were actually highly controlled. The pressure of maintaining etiquette wasn't just about appearances, it shaped how the cast related to each other. Many actors described the experience as living inside a bubble, where normal casual interactions had to be replaced by formal gestures and careful words. Friendships on set had to navigate these strict rules, and joking around had to happen discreetly, often off-set. However, some actors mentioned that following these rules actually helped them immerse more deeply into their characters. The etiquette became second nature after weeks of practice, and the result was a polished performance where every gesture and glance felt perfectly in place. It was like stepping into history every day, a world where manners ruled supreme and elegance was everything. Living under these strict etiquette rules wasn't easy, but it gave Bridgerton for its distinctive charm. The cast learned to move with grace, speak with refinement, and maintain a constant awareness of their surroundings. These rules made the show's world believable and mesmerizing for the audience. The actors' dedication to etiquette transformed simple gestures into moments of beauty and drama on screen. Even today, fans admire the attention to detail, and it all started with these strict rules on set, where every bow, curtsy, and polite word mattered more than anyone could imagine. On the set of Bridgerton 4, costumes weren't just clothes, they were a lifestyle, a strict rulebook the cast had to live by. Each gown, coat, and accessory was designed to reflect the elegance and status of the Regency era, and actors were expected to treat these pieces with the utmost care. The rules surrounding costumes were incredibly specific. For example, female actors could not adjust their own dresses. Even the slightest tug on a corset or slip could distort the look of a scene. Wardrobe assistants were always on hand, meticulously arranging every fold, ensuring that each pleat and lace detail was perfect. For male actors, suits, waistcoats, and cravats had to sit just right, and they had to learn to move naturally in garments that were much heavier and more restrictive than modern clothing. Even minor mistakes, like a crooked collar or a wrinkled sleeve, could ruin a shot. Hair and makeup came with their own strict protocols. Wigs had to be styled historically, often in towering arrangements that demanded patience and endurance. Actors were forbidden from touching the wigs themselves. Any stray hair had to be adjusted by the hair team. Makeup was designed to look natural for the period, but behind the scenes, it had to be carefully maintained. Sweat, dirt, or even a hint of modern cosmetic sheen could break the illusion. So actors had to remain conscious of their appearance at all times. Long hours in, heavy costumes and intricate hairstyles were not only uncomfortable, but physically demanding. Some actresses described the experience as walking around in armor, where every movement had to be deliberate to maintain the elegance of the character. Footwear was another surprising restriction. Female actors often wore heels that were far higher than modern shoes, which forced them to take measured, precise steps. Male actors had to navigate slippery floors in period shoes, often without modern grips or support. Simple actions, like walking down a staircase or crossing a ballroom, became exercises in grace and discipline. The cast quickly learned that falling out of character, or even stumbling slightly in costume, was not tolerated, as it could destroy the polished appearance of the scene. Every glance at the camera demanded perfect posture, flawless attire, and the air of someone born into the high society of Regency England. The rules extended beyond the physical costumes to the smallest details. Jewelry, gloves, fans, and even the way actors held a handkerchief had to be historically accurate. Props were carefully integrated into the costume, and actors were trained in the correct way to use them. A misplaced gesture, like holding a fan incorrectly or dropping a glove, could ruin an entire take. Even nail polish and modern jewelry were forbidden, as they would be anachronistic on camera. The cast described the experience as living under a constant microscope, where each detail, no matter how minor, was critical to maintaining authenticity. Living with these restrictions shaped not only how the cast moved and looked, but also how they felt. Some admitted that wearing heavy gowns and stiff collars was exhausting, yet it forced them into the character's world in a way modern clothing never could. The discomfort, in a sense, became part of the performance, influencing posture, gestures, and interactions. The strict costume rules ensured that every shot looked like it belonged to a real historical world, allowing viewers to be completely immersed in the luxurious but constrained life of Bridgerton's society. Even after long days of shooting, actors had to remain careful. A crumpled dress or messy hair during a break could lead to corrective work before the next scene. The discipline demanded by these costume rules created a kind of silent camaraderie among the cast. They learned to respect each other's space, to move carefully, and to navigate a set filled with heavy fabrics, delicate lace, and intricate wigs. It wasn't just about looking elegant on camera, it was about embodying a world where elegance was law. This intense attention to costume and appearance became a defining feature of Bridgerton 4, giving the show a visual authenticity that fans couldn't stop admiring. Every swirl of a gown, every polished shoe, and every carefully placed wig was a testament to the strict, invisible rules that made the fantasy of Regency England feel completely real. On the set of Bridgerton 4, the rules didn't stop at costumes, and gestures modern behavior was just as restricted as period etiquette. In today's world, it's almost impossible to imagine a celebrity not sharing behind-the-scenes moments online. Yet the cast of Bridgerton had very strict guidelines when it came to social media. Posting photos, videos, or even hints about upcoming scenes was strictly prohibited. This wasn't just about spoilers, it was about maintaining the illusion of the Regency world. Every glimpse into the set that fans could see had to be controlled and curated, ensuring that the polished, historical atmosphere was preserved. Actors described it as living in a bubble where personal excitement had to be carefully managed, and every phone interaction was monitored. Even simple interactions outside of filming were impacted by these rules. The cast was often reminded to consider how they presented themselves in public spaces. Walking down the street in full Regency attire, for example, wasn't allowed except for specific promotional events. Social media posts had to go through checks, and casual comments online could lead to unintended leaks or misunderstandings. For actors who were used to spontaneous posts and sharing moments with fans, this level of restriction felt unusual. Many shared that it required a mental adjustment learning to separate their off-screen self from the carefully constructed world of Bridgerton. Even liking a fan's comment or posting a playful emoji could be questioned, and over time, the cast adapted to this careful form of interaction.